So my parents didn't really talk to me about religion, but about the age of 20, early 20s somewhere, maybe 22 or 23, I became an Orthodox Christian for about 2 years. And then actually I left Orthodox Christianity before I found out about Islam, and then I became a Muslim.
Yeah. How old are you now?
26.
Okay, so how long have you been a Muslim now?
Over a year.
That question right there is the most important question in this entire debate, because this wasn't a Muslim scholar. This wasn't Shabar Ally. This wasn't Zakir Naik. This was a 26-year-old man who left Orthodox Christianity, became a Muslim over a year ago, started a YouTube channel critiquing Christians, and sat down with Sam Shamoun completely unprepared for what was coming. He said he wanted to be stumped. He got his wish. But here's what makes this debate unlike anything else on this channel. Shamoun didn't just answer his objections. He showed him that the very problems that made him leave Christianity were present in Islam too, only worse. The uncreated Quran, the Quran that speaks to Allah, the Quran that intercedes with Allah, an attribute that is aware, that has will, that argues before God on your behalf. And by the end of this debate, the young man wasn't defending Islam. He was writing things down, saying, I need to get back to you, asking for a round two. This is Shamoun Files. This one is different. Let's get into it.
Okay, so, all right, so you said you're an Orthodox Christian for 2 years, and then you embraced Islam. Let me assume, and you can correct me, is it because of the concept of God, Tawheed? Is that it?
Well, like I said, I didn't leave Orthodox Christianity for Islam. I left Orthodox Christianity before I learned about Islam. Mm-hmm. And the reason I left Orthodox Christianity is because it was multifaceted, but I think ultimately the communion, I couldn't wrap my head around that. Mm-hmm. Like the concept that I was literally, not figuratively, literally eating God, right? So I almost felt guilty in a sense participating, because in Orthodox Christianity you do the divine liturgy. Yep. And the divine liturgy ultimately is leading up to communion.
Yep, exactly.
And if I didn't believe in the communion, it didn't feel right. So I stopped going.
Yeah, but that's purely subjective. You felt guilty because you didn't make sense of it, but you then became Muslim because of Tawheed. Is that it?
Yeah, I guess it is subjective. I'm just saying that this is my story. But
no, I know.
You're asking why did I become a Muslim?
Yeah, of all the religions, just because you left Orthodox Christianity doesn't mean Islam is the default position. So why did you become Muslim?
Sure. Why did I become Muslim? Well, I realized the importance, this just came to me one day, the importance of submitting to God. And I realized where my life was headed at the time after leaving Orthodox Christianity. I was living kind of this godless life, and I had a lot of problems, as we all do, but I was doing a lot of sin, and it was becoming problematic. And I realized that something that would really help me would be to submit myself to God. And then actually I had a friend that was learning about Islam, which I thought was weird and silly at the time. And this friend also was into Orthodox Christianity. He was an Orthodox Christian before as well. Mm-hmm. He left around the same time as me, and he started learning about Islam. I thought that was silly, and but then I realized, why is it silly? I don't really know anything about Islam. Mm-hmm. So I started learning about it, and then I realized that Islam means to submit your will to God, and that was a big pivotal moment for me. And then the more I learned about Islam, it seemed extremely reasonable. It seemed like an extremely reasonable way to live your life. It seemed simple. It made sense to me. Yeah. So I took the shot.
Again, because that's what you just said. Me. But just because submitting to God is something that was natural to you, what makes you think submitting to Allah, the Quran, means you're submitting to the true God?
Because when I read the Quran, I don't find any contradictions.
There are plenty of contradictions, friend. We'll get into that. Okay. But that's subjective again. Even if you have a book that has no contradictions, that doesn't mean it's a revelation from the true God. So what makes you think the God of the Quran is a true God, the God revealed through the prophets?
I also just want to preface this. I'm a layman, so I'm actually hoping that you stump me today.
No, you'll get stumped. And the reason why I only came after you, so now notice what you said. You're not a scholar layman, but you went after Marmari. I didn't watch the video. So it's ironic for me, someone who says he's a layman, he's not a scholar, but yet he feels confident enough to make a video criticizing Marmari.
Did you watch that video?
No, just when you said he lied about it.
He did lie. He said that pigs have a hoof that is not split.
Okay, let's say, and for the sake of charity, well, I'm going to say that your God lied about the Trinity. So if you want to be ungracious, uncharitable, no, we'll get there. You can laugh, friends. I mean, see, we can have a serious, you can laugh. Okay. We can approach things graciously and give people the benefit of the doubt that he misspoke because he doesn't know too much, or we can impugn them with the worst motives possible. But if you're laughing at that, we're going to have a field day with what you believe to be the uncreated speech of God, making assertions regarding certain groups that you have no proof for. For example, I want you to give me some extra Quranic proof, historical, textual, archaeological, for the assertion of Surah Al-Tawbah, chapter 9, verse 30, that the Jews believe that Uzair is a son of Allah. Let me put it on the screen. See, when the same measure you use will be turned against you. So you were ungracious to him. So now you can't handle the heat. Don't.
You said it was 9:30?
Chapter 9, verse 30, yes. I'm going to put on.
And you want proof of like the historical accuracy of this?
Can you give me one single extra Quranic source that says the Jews viewed Uzair, the son of Allah, because it's contrasted to the Christians, Nasara, believing that the Messiah is the son of Allah? Can you name any Jewish group, apart from your biased Muslim sources, who this group is? Let me put it on the screen for everyone to see. By the way, who is Uzair?
I honestly have no idea.
Exactly. So you embrace the religion, you really don't know, and you're confident.
Of course I'm not going to know everything.
It's not about everything. These are the basics, because here the assertion is that Allah desires that the Muslims fight against all forms of idolatry, which includes the idolatry of the Jews and Christians of ascribing a son to Allah. Let me enlarge the screen. So if you haven't read chapter 9, which is one of the final chapters according to Muslim sources, if we just go by the Quran, we don't know about the chronology of the Quran. But if I go with Muslim sources, chapter 9 is one of the last, if not the last chapters that was composed in Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-Tawbah. And here it's saying, in the context of why Allah wants to fight Jews and Christians. And the Jews say Uzair, they say Uzair is the son of Allah. That's what they're telling you. We don't know who Uzair is, because Uzair is not the Arabic form of Ezra. And the Christians say Messiah is the son of Allah. That is a saying from their mouths. They imitate the saying of the disbelievers of old, Allah's curse be upon them. It really says Allah fight them, but put that aside. So Allah's cursing Jews for saying that Allah has a son, it's Uzair. Who's Uzair?
Like I said, I don't know.
Okay. So this is why I say, if you're going to be charitable and give people the benefit of doubt, then the same measure used will be extended to you. But if you're going to come ungraciously and attack people and maybe you misspoke. We all misspeak. None of us is perfect.
Yeah.
You're going to be treated the same way. But
did you feel like when I made the video about the bishop that I was somehow like proving Christianity is not true?
No, you attacked the bishop saying he's a liar, a man who just got stabbed and he lost his right eye. So that's
I didn't know that at the time of
That's fine.
Making the video.
So now, again, let's come back to the first issue. So you say submitting to God. Yeah, obviously. But I'm still wanting to know what makes you think Allah the Quran is a true God, especially the true God revealed through the prophets, because it mentions Jesus. And even the Arabic name for Jesus, Isa, doesn't correspond to the Arabic form of his name. But we'll get into that. So why do you think Allah of the Quran is a true God?
When in the Quran, when it says Allah is the most gracious and most merciful, when I intuitively, well, I guess you're going to say that's subjective.
Yeah, it is.
It is subjective, but you're asking me why do I think so? Isn't that?
But you're doing dawah, right? You're trying to invite people to the way of Islam, because obviously you got a YouTube channel. So now I'm a Christian. I want to know how you're going to assure me that all of the Quran is a God revealed in and through the prophets, especially Jesus Christ. So convince me. Do dawah. Can't be just subjective.
Well, I mean, you're a Christian, and I don't think I didn't really come here with the intention of trying to convert you to Islam. But if you're curious, I think if you read the attributes of Allah, if you understand the attributes of Allah,
I do,
then I think you would logically come to the conclusion that that is God.
No, not at all. There are attributes of Allah that do not befit the attributes as outlined in the scriptures, the Bible, and revealed in Jesus. For example, I'll just give you the most basic. By the way, what am I saying? Because in chapter 16, verse 125 of the Quran, this is an exhortation to you. You believe in the Quran, I don't. Now, if you don't want Ali Khan, I can go to another translation. What translation do you prefer?
Usually if I read a translation, I read multiple Sahih or Sahih and Noble Quran. I can't remember the name.
Well, Kalali Khan, they're Salafi Muslims. I don't know if you embrace that's another.
I think Kalali is actually Noble Quran. Yeah,
okay, so that's Salafi. So from my understanding then, I know you're going to say you're Muslim, but that's not sufficient, because just like in Christianity, you had Orthodox Christianity, Catholicism. In Islam, you'll have Sunni Islam, Shia Islam, and then in Sunni Islam, you have Salafi Islam. Then you have Ash'ari, Maturidi. What are you? Are you Salafi?
I can't say because I don't know enough about it, but I find like I've researched like fiqh. And in terms of fiqh, I typically find what Salafis say makes sense, but I haven't learned enough about like the Aqidah and this kind of stuff. I really don't know.
Would you agree with them about Allah's sifat, his attributes, such as his foot and his shin and his eyes? Or you
see that ties in with Aqidah, and like I said, I honestly I don't know.
All right, so you're learning as you go along. All right, but here's what the verse tells you to do: invite. Now they add stuff in parentheses, mankind or Muhammad, to the way of your Lord. Invite them with wisdom, and then this is the parentheses, not part of the other. And fair preaching with wisdom, fair preaching, and argue with them in a way that is better. So obviously you're going to do dawah until you don't do it. So okay, well, my efforts are not working with this guy, you move on. But you're supposed to do this just like I'm supposed to preach the gospel. Your Lord knows best who has gone astray from his path. He is the best aware of those who are guided. But the most basic fundamental aspect of God outlined in the Old Testament, New Testament, is that God is a spiritual father, not a physical father who procreates sexually, because that's blasphemous to the Jews and the Christians. He's a spiritual father who has spiritual children, and he's particularly the father of Jesus Christ. Is your God Allah your father?
Is he my father?
Yeah. Is he the father of the Ummah, the father of Muhammad, the father of Muslims?
I would say in a literal biological sense, of course, no.
That's not what I asked, because no Jew or Christian believes that Allah, if you want to use the term Allah, which you believe is the God of the Christians, is a biological father. They believe that God is a spiritual being, so he has spiritual children who are born of his spiritual word, born of the spirit, so he's a spiritual father. So is Allah your father spiritually?
But doesn't it say in the Bible that we're children of God? So in a sense,
that's not the Quran. That's my point. Are you?
But you just said Christians don't believe that that God is a father.
No,
but
this is recorded. See, if you can't hear me well, then I suspect you understand the Quran and the Bible. No, that's not what I said. It's recorded. I said no Christian or Jew believes God is a physical being who sires children biologically, procreatively. I said he's a spiritual father. I was very plain and clear.
Okay. So in the Bible, when it says we're children of God, it means in a spiritual sense, right?
Because he's not a physical being who has sex. But is Allah your spiritual father? I'm still waiting for the answer.
Spiritual? No, I would have no reason to say that Allah is my spiritual father. No.
No, he isn't, because the Quran denies. When the Jews came to your prophet, Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse 18, and the Jews and Christians say, we are the children of Allah. There was no Jew or Christian at the time of Muhammad that thought Allah sired them biologically, physical procreation. They meant it spiritually. And I'll prove that from the scriptures of the Jews and the Christians and his loved ones. And then the responses say, why then does he punish you for your sins? Nay, you are but human beings of those who he has created. He forgives whom he wills, and he punishes whom he wills. And to Allah belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth, and all that is between them, and to him is the return of all. Now, the highest relationship you can have with your God is this, chapter 19, Surah Al-Maryam, chapter 19, 88 to 93. And they say the most beneficent has begotten a son, or offspring, or children. Now, remember, parentheses, brackets, that's not in the Arabic, so we can read them. As the Jews say, Uzair is the son of Allah, and the Christians say that he's begotten a son, Isa, and the pagan Arabs say that he has begotten daughters. That's their comment. Indeed, you brought forth a terrible evil thing, whereby the heavens are almost torn, and the earth is split asunder, and the mountains fall in ruins, that they ascribe a son, or offspring, or children to the most beneficent Allah. But it is not suitable for the majesty of the most beneficent that he should beget a son, or offspring, or children. There's none in the heavens and the earth but comes unto the most beneficent as a slave. So right here, you're told, all you are is a slave, and he is your master.
Sure.
That's not the God of the Bible. So the God of the Bible says he is a father to his people, both Old and New Testaments. Here, I'm going to show it to you. All right. And I'm going to show it to you from the New Testament. So this is a fundamental characteristic that is lacking in the Islamic God. So I'm going to now put it on the screen so people can see I'm not lying. I know you know I'm not lying. And let me show you what Jesus says, if all you are is a slave. Okay. Exodus 4, 22 to 23. Then you say to Pharaoh, thus says Yahweh, Israel's my son, my firstborn. Israel's my son, my firstborn. So I said to you, let my son go, that he may serve me. But you have refused to let him go. Behold, I will kill your son, your firstborn. Deuteronomy 14, verse 1. You are the sons of Yahweh your God. You shall not gash yourselves, nor shave your forehead for the sake of the dead. John 1, 12 to 13. Now we go in the New Testament. That was Old Testament. I'll give you a few more from Old Testament. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God, even to those who believe in his name. So if you believe in Christ, you become a child of God, who were born not of blood, see, it's not biological, nor the will of the flesh, it's not sexual, nor the will of the man, but of God. And then Jesus says, if all you are a slave, it's all that you are, you have no permanent place in God's house. John 8, 30 to 36. John 8, 30 to 36. As he was speaking these things, many believed in him. So Jesus was saying to those Jews who had believed him, if you abide in my word, then you are truly my disciples. And you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. They answered him, we are Abraham's seed, and have never yet been enslaved to anyone. How is it that you say you will become free? Jesus answered them, truly, truly, I say to you, everyone who commits sin is a slave of sin. And the slave does not remain in the house forever. The Son does remain forever. So if the Son makes you free, you will be free indeed. So how is Allah of the Quran the same God spoken of in the Old Testament in Jesus?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
Okay, how is it, in light of what I just showed you, two different scriptures, the Old Testament, which the Jews believe and the Christians accept because of Jesus, and the New Testament, and one consistent teaching is God is a father to his people. Your God is a father to no one. How can they be the same God? Before you comment, just give you more verses. Here's another prophet, Isaiah. Isaiah 63:16. For you are our father, though Abraham does not know us and Israel does not recognize us. You, O Yahweh, are our father. Our Redeemer from everlasting is your name. Again, Isaiah 64. I can give you more, but anyway. But now, O Yahweh, you are our father. We are the clay. You are potter, and all of us are the work of your hand. So why did you submit to all of the Quran if you're thinking you're serving the God of Abraham?
I never claimed that Allah is the God of the Bible.
The Quran claims it.
Does it?
Yeah, it says that the same Allah who sent down the Quran sent down the scriptures for
the Injil, which you know that.
You sure about that?
Arabic is Injil, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to go there assuming that the Injil is not the New Testament. I promise you don't want to go there. Because
okay, we can if you want to. We can.
Okay, now you said the Injil.
That sounds interesting.
Okay, here, let's do it. Okay, well, let me show you. Let's go to the Injil. And then, what is the Torah according to you? The Quran mentions.
Revelation given to Musa.
Okay, I'm going to give you $100,000, and I'll have everyone take shahada. If you can show me in the Quran, it says the Torah was given to Musa in the Quran. I told you don't want to go there, but you insisted. I'll give you $100,000, which I don't have, and everyone who's going to become Muslim, show me a single verse says, and we gave the Torah to Musa. Don't show me a verse where it says we gave Musa the kitab, the book. Kitab is not the same as Torah. And even in Islamic sources, the Salaf, Salih, said that the word Torah doesn't just mean the books of Moses. It refers to the scriptures of the two scriptures of the people of the book. So where'd you get that the Torah was given to Moses? Can you show me the verse in the Quran?
Not off the top of my head, no.
It's not there.
Okay.
I'm telling you, and I'm going to prove it to you. It's not there, but I don't know why it doesn't come.
So you think that when the Quran says Torah, it's referring literally to the Old Testament?
I'm not saying that. Your Muslim translators admit this because I'm going to quote them in a minute. So that's why you don't know much. You just came into the faith. You're green. Hopefully, by the grace of God, you're going to end up leaving. But before I do that, here, let's go with Injil because it's singular, not an Injil. I've never heard that one before. All right, let's read. Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:46 to 47. And in their footsteps, we sent Isa, son of Maryam, confirming the Torah that had come before him. That's not the literal translation, but we'll get to that. And we gave him the Injil, in which was guidance and light, and a confirmation of Torah that had come before it, a guidance and admonition for al-muttaqun. But then it says, watch verse 47. So here's my question to you. Now Muhammad is addressing his contemporaries. Let the people of the gospel, Ahl al-Injil, judge by what Allah has revealed therein. What did they have at the time of Muhammad? How are you going to judge the gospel if you don't have it at the time of? Because it's saying, look, Jesus came with the gospel. You people of the gospel judge by it. Judge by what?
I don't know.
Yeah, because the Muslims who taught you didn't teach you well, so you have to learn on your own. I know, because I've been there, done that, because they tried to convert me too in the 90s. But the Lord of God, He saved me. So when you say the Injil is, whatever it is, it's not the New Testament, how do you know that? When here it says, whatever the Injil is, it was at the time of Muhammad, the Christians had it. And if you want more proof, here, 7157, Hilali Khan, they're now going to identify the Injil for you. Watch, they're going to do it, not me. Those who follow the messenger, the prophet, who can neither read nor write, whom they find written with them, it's with them in the Torah and the Injil. And what did they identify the Injil here as? What's the Injil here? They gave it to you in practice.
I don't know. What is that? That's a Bible verse. What is that verse?
John. See, that's why you got to read the Bible. John 14, verse 16. So I thought, hold on.
And this is the Hilali?
Yeah, Hilali Khan. Hilali Khan translation. That's what I'm using right here. Hilali Khan here. So okay. Hilali Khan, you see it? Right here, Hilali Khan.
Sure.
And right here. So they're telling you this prophecy of this unlettered prophet is in the Injil. And they say, well, that's the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 16. So wait, didn't you try to somehow deny that the Gospel is not what I have? It's not the New Testament? How do you know that?
What is that, 616?
Chapter 14, verse 16. This is Roman numeral 10, 1. Okay, right. I means 14, verse 16. Right. It's the prophecy of the Paraclete. And here, Deuteronomy 18:15, a prophet like Moses. But my point is, they're telling me that the gospel that's with the Christians is the Gospel of John. Why did they tell me that?
I don't know. You have to ask them. I mean, it's not in Arabic, so it's not really.
No, because they realize that the Quran is not a fraud, what you're trying to accuse it of. Whatever the gospel is, it was there in their possession. So historically.
So did you just say I was trying to say that the Quran is a fraud?
No. If you do not answer, then you're accusing the Quran of fraud, because the Quran is saying the gospel is there at the time of Muhammad. So they're being faithful to history and saying, well, hold on. Historically, the only gospel that Christians have is the New Testament scripture. So forget them. What did they have at the time of Muhammad? I'm still waiting for your answer.
Well, okay, so the verse says, let the people of the gospel judge by what Allah has revealed therein.
Therein what?
I mean, does that necessarily imply that they have the
So what are they going to judge by?
Untouched gospel? Or what
are they going to judge by? Read the context. Context is 46, 47.
The Injil.
How are they going to judge by the Injil if they don't have it?
They may not. I don't know.
So how they going? Your God is telling them judge by it. How?
Right.
Allah, wait. We don't have it. Remember? You're not answering the question.
I mean, maybe they have part of it.
And where does it say they have part of it here?
I'm just saying that's a possibility.
Adding to the Quran, which you're condemned for doing.
I'm just saying that's a possibility. Can that be a possibility that they have part of it, but they don't?
Anything can be possible. It's even possible that Muhammad was a Hindu. What's possible doesn't make it probable. I want you to help me identify what the gospel is at the time of Muhammad. I'm sorry. I'm still waiting, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on it.
Okay.
I don't know.
And then here it says, those who follow the messenger prophet, who can neither read nor write, whom they find written with them in the Torah and the Injil. So again, it's talking about time Muhammad, they had the Torah and the gospel. So help me understand, what gospel did they have at the time Muhammad where Muslims would say, hey, Muhammad is there in your gospel?
Yeah, like I said, I have to get back to you.
That's what I'm saying. Don't come to me and say untainted gospel, because I know you bought the Dawah script. The scriptures are corrupt. The Quran nowhere says they're corrupt. It says they're perfectly preserved. I know the verses that they've taught you. Surah al-Baqarah, 275, 279, 378, 548. None of that proves their point, because I've debated that issue. But put that aside. I want to again ask you, what made you think that the God of the Quran is the same God of the prophets mentioned in the scriptures? Because it talks about the prophets who were given scriptures before Muhammad, and Muhammad comes in their succession, and it's supposed to be the same God. How is it the same God?
I'm not sure it is. The scripture. I don't think we have enough evidence to prove that the scriptures we have today have been preserved.
Well, that means the Quran is not bearing false witness, because it says they have been preserved. But if you're going back out, yeah, it does. Verse after verse.
Let me look at that.
Oh, sure. My pleasure. Here you go. I have articles, but I'm going to show it to you. So then if you're consistent, you have no proof that your Quran is perfectly preserved, because the manuscripts and your tradition say the Quran is corrupted. You don't even have one Arabic version of the Quran. You have various qira'at, and they're missing surahs. That's according to your Islamic sources. So I'm still wondering, why are you a Muslim? But hold on, we'll get there. Let me just go there. We'll get there. 1 second. So for the reasons for you to become a Muslim are not sound, and the reasons for you rejecting Christianity are not sound either. But be that as it may, hold on, brother. Let me just line it up for you, so that 136. All right. Fine, 1 second. All right.
You got this all memorized, or you got this written down?
That's the gift of the Holy Spirit, the true Spirit of the true God. May He be glorified in through me to bring Christ glory. Yep, I do. But anyway, 240 to 44. 240 to 44. Let me show it right here. O children of Israel, remember my favor which I bestowed upon you, and fulfill your obligations to my covenants, so that I fulfill my obligations to your covenant. Now remember, if the comments in parentheses, brackets are not part of the Arabic, but put that aside. And fear none but me. And believe in what I have sent down, this Quran, confirming that which is with you. Present tense. He's talking to his audience. This confirms what is with you, and then they tell you, we can ignore it. The Torah and the Injil is with you, and the Quran confirms what you have, not opposes them, say they're corrupt. And be not the first to disbelieve therein, and buy not with my verses, Torah and Injil, a small price of getting a small gain by selling my verses, and fear me alone. And mix not truth with falsehood, nor conceal the truth. And they put in parentheses Muhammad, his qualities in the gospel, while you know the truth. Now, real quickly before I finish it, it says, do not conceal the truth while you know the truth. If you don't have the truth, can you conceal it?
No.
But then here it says they're concealing the truth, so that means they must have it, right?
Right.
Okay. Just want you to keep in mind. Don't forget what you're telling me. And perform a salah and give zakat and irqa. They have to always give Arabic words. Along with al-raqiyun. What is it? Now 44. Enjoin you al-birr, piety and righteousness and every act of obedience on Allah, and then when you forget to practice it yourselves while you recite the scripture. Okay, before I move on, because I want you to pay attention. They're reciting the scripture. They have the truth, though they conceal it, and the Quran confirms what they already have, not what they used to have, what you have now. How are they going to recite the scripture, conceal the truth, and why would the Quran confirm what they have? If you are correct, their scriptures are corrupt and not reliable.
Well, just because they're corrupt doesn't mean that they can't contain the truth. And I don't see anything so far saying that...
This is now the third time you interpret the Quran for me, and it doesn't say what you say, because the word confirm, sadaqah, means to bear witness to the veracity and the honesty and the truthfulness of a thing or person. That's where you get Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, sadaqah. Why is the Quran not reading the way you're interpreting it?
Well, you're also interpreting it when you're reading it saying that it's...
No, I'm just telling you what's in front of me. Here, can you show me where it says confirming only parts of what you have, or does it say confirming that which is with you? Can you show me who's reading it as it appears and who's interpreting it?
But it also doesn't say confirming all of that which is with you.
So if I show you where it says John the Baptist confirms a word from Allah, but it doesn't say it confirms all of Allah's words. So your logic means he only confirms a part of it?
Yeah, that's a possibility, yeah.
Then that means you just said that John didn't bear witness to Jesus being fully reliable, and you just blaspheme, and you're a kafir, see? Think before you speak.
Yes, can you repeat again?
Okay. You just ended up committing kufr because the verb sadaqah, chapter 3, verse 9 says, Yahya confirms a word from Allah. And I said, so does it mean he confirms all of it? You go, yeah, that's possible. But the word of Allah is Jesus. So are you saying that John is saying, yeah, there's some things about Jesus that are right, but there may be some things about him that aren't right? Think before you speak.
Both are possible. He could be confirming part, or he could be confirming all.
How can he be confirming only a part of Jesus and his mission?
I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying grammatically that's
no,
possible.
Not at all. The burden of proof is on you to show it's only confirming a part of it. Where? Don't make.
I didn't say that he's only confirming a part of it. I'm saying grammatically.
Where in the grammar? Show it to me. That it means only a part, not all of it. I'm waiting.
I'd have to give you a separate example for it to make sense.
You can give me an example. Can you give me any Arabic lexicons or even a lexicon on the sadaqah? Can you give me anything, or you're just ipse dixit?
What are you talking about, sadaqah? Why did you mention that?
Because the word here is sadaqah. Sadaqah.
Confirming.
Musaddiq, musaddiqun, like Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, or when you give sadaqah. All right. So let's.
I mean, if you have a collection of facts, and some of them are true and some of them are not true, and then I tell somebody, yeah, I agree with what he says. That doesn't mean I agree with everything that you say.
No,
you could still
if you don't qualify it, I would take it to mean you agree with everything I say. No, you're wrong. You'd have to qualify your statement.
I wouldn't have to, though.
Yes, you would. If you say, I agree with what he says, and you full stop, then you're going to leave me the impression that what he says, you have no fault with it. Give me a better.
I don't. Another example.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's based on.
A little bit on the spot. Give me a second to try and think of another example.
Yeah. All right. You need to shut down your YouTube channel, brother. You have no business talking about the Quran or the Bible, honestly. Now, as you're thinking about coming up with some examples to tap dance, here, chapter 2.
I don't think I need to give another example. I think I've already said what I.
Yeah, sorry. Well,
what I said makes sense. I think so. We can agree.
Yeah, because you're the standard again. It didn't feel right to me. This made sense to me because you are God and the standard of truth. Yeah, we got that already. But I'm just going to let the Quran show you that you're not the standard. And even as a Muslim, Allah is your standard. But even here, you have to negotiate with Allah and tell Allah He could have said it in a better way. Well, that's
okay. Imagine.
Okay, can we read 289 before you give me your spiel? Let's read the Quran. 289.
Well,
came to them.
That's okay. Yeah, sure.
Well, hold on. Read. When there came to them, the Jews, a book from Allah confirming what is with them. Now, let's follow your logic. Here, the Quran is saying the proof for the Jews and the Christians that the Quran is from God is that the Quran is going to confirm part of their scripture, but not all of it. And you think the Jews are going to now be convinced? Oh, thank you. Now we know you're from God, because you're saying only part of our scripture is intact, the other is corrupt, and that's going to make us believe you're a prophet. That's the argument of this passage.
Hey, can I ask you this before we move on?
Go ahead, yeah.
Say you have a book and it contains the truth, but it also contains some things that aren't true. Do you have the truth or not?
Not if you don't qualify what you mean. What do you mean I have the truth?
If you have a book that has truth but also has some falsehood, do you have the truth or not?
No, you're asking one question. How do I know it has falsehood in it?
How do you know what has falsehood in it?
Your analogy, for it to be valid, means that I have to know in advance this book is not completely true. So now,
no, I'm saying hypothetically, if you have a book,
I can't answer hypothetical, because if you're telling me that this is analogous to the Quran, then the Quran would have to tell me somewhere, hey, these scriptures are not fully reliable for your analogy to be valid, and you're not getting it. Where does the Quran say that?
Well, it contradicts the Bible, so
that's the reason why Muhammad is a fraud. You just put the cart before the horse. Thank you. Now you see the dilemma.
So by the Quran saying that it's true, and then also contradicting
because Muhammad was an ignoramus. He wasn't a prophet. What are you not getting? That's the proof he's a fraud.
That would only be true if the Quran says that the Old and New Testament are 100% true, which it never says.
No,
it says that it contains truth. It says that it has truth, but it doesn't say that it's
you don't shift the burden of proof and stop lying. Give me those verses, what you just said. Show it to me. Show it to me.
I think anybody with logic understands what I'm saying.
Well, your prophet didn't have much logic. Okay, let's try this again.
Agree to disagree on that.
Let's try this again.
But let me get back to you. I want to look at the Arabic of all this, because I never thought about this.
I'll give you the Arabic. Can you read it?
No, but I can do like a word for word. I can also ask people.
Hold on, wait. You just said I want to look at the Arabic. So I'm going to give you the Arabic. I want you to read it, but you don't know how to read Arabic. How many excuses do you have?
I want to learn the Arabic, and I'm not saying.
Since this is getting nowhere because you're the standard, and you keep assuming what you have to prove, and you haven't proved anything. Now, I want to know, as a Sunni Muslim, you don't just follow the Quran only, right?
Yeah, there's also Sahih Hadith.
Sahih, okay. So, do you believe the Quran is the uncreated speech of Allah?
The uncreated speech of Allah. I don't know. I can't give you an answer there, honestly.
You embrace the religion, and you're so completely ignorant of it, and you left Orthodoxy because of your subject experience. How much of the New Testament you knew before you left the Orthodox faith?
I don't know. Can't give you an answer.
So,
how much of it do I know? What do you mean by no?
Did you even bother for those 2 years to study the Gospels, Matthew, Mark?
Yeah, I did study. I was actually close to joining seminary. I was taking seminary classes.
Mm-hmm. And how much of the Gospels did you read and understand?
I can't give you an exact number. A good amount.
Dude,
I understood the faith, I feel like. Say what?
Did you? All right. So let me see how much you understood. So you left Orthodoxy because you felt that, eating the flesh of God, drinking, that was, okay, all right. But kissing a black stone, that's okay. We'll get to that. Now,
you don't have to kiss a black stone in Islam.
You want to bet it's Sunnah. Your prophet said you have to.
And just because something's Sunnah doesn't mean you have to.
Okay, so when you
said you have to?
When you perform Hajj, what did your prophet say if you're able to do what with the black stone?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness, here we go. Okay, we'll get there. Don't change the subject.
I tried to tell you I'm not super knowledgeable. But.
So why you have a YouTube channel critiquing people?
That was, you got to watch that video. That one was crazy.
Why are you critiquing people? You're not knowledgeable. You don't know much.
Because I care about the truth, and I think when somebody.
What truth? You don't even know the truth. You're lost. You're confused.
I don't feel like that, but
you're proving it by your answers. I don't know this. I don't know that. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, you're asking me really quite complicated questions.
Well, you asked me to stump you. You want me to throw you curveballs?
Yeah, I'm not complaining. It's okay. I'm gonna write it all down. I'll go find answers.
You can go watch it. Come back. We'll have a round two. But before we do that. But you don't even know if the Quran is uncreated, so I don't even know how to proceed because you don't even know if the Quran is uncreated. And
the Quran is uncreated?
Yes. Part of the Sunni tradition, you're not Shia, you're not Quran only, is that the Quran is uncreated. The Quran is uncreated.
Quran is uncreated? I don't even understand how that makes sense.
Because it's supposed to be. There we go. I don't understand. My God, have mercy on you. Bring you out of your darkness here.
Oh, I don't know what that means. The Quran is uncreated.
It means the Quran is not a created entity because it's a speech of Allah, and because it's a speech of Allah, it's one of His attributes, and it's uncreated. I guess I got to show that.
That's like philosophy.
No, it isn't. It's Ahl al-Sunnah wa Jama'ah. It's the tradition of Sunni Islam based on narrations attributed to Muhammad. See, again, you just said something.
Okay. All right. Okay. So can you?
Yeah, I'm going to show you.
Go ahead. Tell me what is the problem with it being uncreated.
You don't know what the problem is with being uncreated? Okay, hold on. Let me just get you some online source. You're laughing. I don't know what you're laughing at because it's going to be embarrassing. Just be patient. I just want to get an online source. Let's see where I can find it.
All right, I'll take your word for it. Sunnis believe that the Quran's uncreated.
But I want to see if I have Islamic Q&A because it's a Salafi website. Yeah, right here. I guess I found it. But why is the link not working? Interesting. Okay. Let me do this. 1 second. Let me go to Islam QA so you can see with your own eyes. I don't want you to take my word for anything. All right, 1 second. Let me see if I find it. Let's see what the dilemma is for that. Okay, right here. Right here. Let me put it up. Right here. Okay, let's see. All right, right here. Who are the people of the Quran? Who are the people of Allah and closest to it? Let's see if it says. All right, no. Just give me a second. I want you to be able to see with your own eyes. All right, unwitness. Oh, okay, well, we'll come back to that later. That article is going to be important. All right, the Quran is uncreated since Allah. Okay. All right, anyway, by the time I find an online link, I don't know if it's going to work, but be that as it may, I wanted you to see it from an official source.
That's okay.
Well, because I don't want you to think I'm lying, because you're going to do your search.
I don't think you are.
Okay. Now, the Quran is supposed to be the uncreated speech of Allah because it is one of his attributes. And none of Allah's attributes are created. None of them. So if the Quran is kalam Allah, kalam, meaning speech of Allah, word of Allah, it cannot be created. So the Quran is uncreated. But do you believe the Quran is Allah?
The Quran is Allah?
Is the Quran Allah?
I mean, it depends on what sense you mean when you say is. Like, so you can say that I am generous, but that doesn't mean I'm synonymous with generous.
So Allah is a predication? Allah is an attribute, characteristic, or is Allah being?
No, you said the Quran.
Yeah, but you didn't hear your own analogy. Brother, pay attention to your analogy. Listen to what you said. I am generous. Well, generous is a predication. It's a quality. So when I say, is the Quran Allah, you just made Allah a predication. Is Allah a predication?
I thought you said, is Allah the Quran?
No, I said, is the Quran Allah?
Is the Quran Allah?
Yeah.
I mean, in a literal sense, no, of course not.
So it's not Allah, and yet it's uncreated?
It's say again.
You're laughing. I don't know what the hell you're laughing at, dude.
I'm trying to understand it.
Here it goes. Here's a hadith right here. Here you go. Sahih. You see it right here on the screen? Here you go. I just found it for you. Here. Do you see it on the screen?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, now I'm going to put it in private chat for you. This is sunnah.com. This is not a Christian website. So here you go. Should be on the screen. 1 second. I want to make sure. There you go, right here. All right. Now,
the Quran is uncreated.
Okay, you see it?
Right.
Abu Dawood.
Yeah.
This is proof of the fact the Quran is not created. It's not created. Okay, so my question to you is, if the Quran is uncreated and it's not Allah, right?
Yeah, I guess. What?
So how many uncreated things do you have?
How many uncreated things?
You just said, brother, follow yourself. My brother in humanity.
Yeah.
Honestly,
you're saying that there shouldn't be anything uncreated besides God, right?
Well, that's what you said.
If the Quran is uncreated, okay, I see your point. Okay, yeah, I don't have an answer for that. I have to get back to you.
That's good, because why I'm doing this is when you study, whatever argument you have against the Trinity, if you had any, it's going to be used against your belief as a Sunni Muslim. So either you're going to have to abandon Islam and Christianity altogether, or you're going to have to stop thinking that the Trinity is incompatible with God's unity. This is what I'm trying to show you. Are you aware that your Sunni traditions teach that the Quran actually speaks to Allah and will appear on the Day of Judgment interceding for you?
Sorry, I was writing. Am I aware that the Quran will intercede?
Watch this. Go to black and rewatch it. Are you aware, you can upload this to your channel if you want, are you aware that your Sunni tradition, your authentic, whether it's Sahih or Hassan, good, tradition teach that the Quran will appear on the Day of Judgment speaking to Allah and will intercede for you with Allah?
So the speech of Allah will intercede.
Yeah, you're seeing the problem. Good.
For me with Allah.
Yep, you are. It's the light switch went on.
I don't see what's problematic with that.
You don't have a problem with the Quran, which is supposed to be the speech of Allah.
Yeah.
Talking with Allah, so is that Allah speaking to himself? I thought that's the speech.
Yeah, what's the problem with Allah speaking to himself?
I'm glad. I like that. So Allah now appears in a different mode. It appears as the Quran. So you just made the Quran identical with Allah. Excellent. Keep going.
I made the Quran identical?
Yes, because you just said, what's the problem with Allah speaking to himself? So if the Quran is speaking to Allah, that's Allah speaking to himself. That means the Quran is Allah speaking to Allah. You didn't hear yourself?
And what you just said? What's wrong with that?
Oh, so okay, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying you're okay with it. That's so good. So I just want you to hear it's recorded. You can laugh, Daniel. I'll laugh with you, brother. I'm generous. So notice what you said. See, good. I'm glad we can laugh. We'll laugh together, brothers in humanity. So the Quran will speak to Allah, and that's Allah's speech, which means Allah speaking to himself. And you go, yeah, I have no problem with that. Okay.
Well, I don't know if we have to say it's Allah speaking to himself. Actually, I mean
but it's a speech.
Interceding. Yeah.
So Allah's interceding with himself. Let's go with interceding. Allah's interceding with himself?
No, his speech is interceding for you.
Yeah, but the Quran is a speech, so it's now separate from Allah, so you have now two uncreated things?
Yeah, we're back to I wrote down here, how is the Quran uncreated? I don't know the answer. I'm going to have to
All right.
look that up.
So what's my point? You don't have pure monotheism. You have an idea of God that it's very complex, and it's similar to, not identical with, Trinitarianism. So whatever Muslims tell you about the Trinity, either they're ignorant of their own tradition or they're dishonest, because your view of Allah is much more complex than saying it's simple, because that's what you told me earlier. Oh, it's very simple. No, it's not. I told you. So what's your problem with the Trinity then? Because I'm assuming you left the Trinity too because it didn't make sense to you?
The Trinity. Yeah, I don't understand. I thought the Trinity made sense to me once before as a Muslim, actually, but then I realized that because I had this idea about the attributes, and like I mentioned to you earlier, I am say I'm generous and I am a father and I'm all these different things, but that doesn't mean that those things are me. But then I realized those are attributes, and the Trinity is actually persons.
Well, not right? The Quran. The Quran is a person because it's going to speak to Allah.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but you're asking me about the Trinity.
Yeah, I'm saying whatever reason you had for rejecting the Trinity means now you got to reject Islam.
Because the Quran is uncreated?
No, because the Quran speaks to Allah. So an attribute is going to talk to Allah. So you have a problem with three persons being one God, but you don't have a problem with an attribute speaking to Allah. So this attribute is a living attribute that can speak. And you're okay with that?
I never said that the Quran was an attribute.
The Muslims said it is. It's the speech of Allah. Kalam Allah. We got to go back to that again?
Your speech is an attribute of you?
The Muslims say it's his attribute. You arguing with me? You want me to give you the Muslims here? Let me show. I'll have you talk to the Muslim scholars. Hey, dude, why are you saying it's kalam Allah? Kalam is one of the speeches attributes of Allah. They're saying it, not me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to understand what your argument is.
No, I want to understand what the Muslim argument, because they baffled me. The Quran is the speech of Allah. It's an attribute. If it's an attribute, yet it speaks to Allah. So you have talking attributes? It's one of the sifat of Allah?
I don't know. So you're saying that the Quran, Quran is an attribute?
You keep saying I'm saying it. The Muslims keep.
Okay, yeah, right. You're saying that Muslims say that the Quran is an attribute, which is problematic because listen to your argument, not mine. You said, well, Allah has attributes, so I can understand I can have attributes, but if you have persons that are distinct, then I can't understand how can that be one God. Well, yours is worse. You have an attribute that will speak with God, argue with God, and appear before God, but you're still okay with God being one. So you're okay with attribute speaking then? Yeah, I actually don't follow, to be honest.
That's all right. Here it is.
It's pretty complicated.
Here you go. Right here. I want to show it to you because it's complicated because you jumped into religion without knowing it. But here you go. Right here, Islam QA. Let's see what they say. Islam QA. This is a prominent Salafi website. It's the best I can get you because I don't have the hard copies of At-Tahawi or Ibn Taymiyyah. This is easy. It's right here. Look, question. I know that the Quran is one of the attributes of Allah. Here's a link. And what they're going to say, like his eye, his hand, and so on. One of the attributes of Allah. So here it is for you, right here in the comment section. So then I send it to you in private. You see it on the screen?
Yeah, and the person...
Okay, well, what's your answer? Go ahead. Okay, you're going to see, do they agree with him? Yes. Okay. And that it is the word of Allah in a real sense that was sent down to the Prophet through Jibreel, and that the Quran is not created. But what is meant by that? Does that mean the words of Allah are not created, even when we read them? Although we are created by Allah and everything we say or do is part of the creation of Allah? Now watch. Here's the answer. The Quran is the word of Allah and is not created. So they're agreeing. Yes, it's the word of Allah. It's not created. It's when it's not created. What is meant by that is that Allah spoke the words of the Quran, which Jibreel heard from him, brought it down to the Prophet, and conveyed it to him. All of the attributes of Allah are uncreated. They are eternal with no beginning. The words of Allah are among these attributes, and that includes the Quran. So do I need to repeat myself that the Quran is an attribute of Allah? Or you're getting it from the horse's mouth? Therefore, the scholar said that the Quran is not created because it is the words of Allah and that it is one of his attributes. So do I need to repeat it again, or you got it now?
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so why do you have no problem with an attribute of Allah appearing and talking to Allah, but you had a problem with persons being God, as Trinitarianism teaches? If an attribute speaks, what does that make it?
A speaking attribute. So
is it personal or non-personal?
I don't know. What's the definition of a person?
A person is one that has awareness and will, can speak and be spoken to.
Yeah. Does the Quran have awareness and will?
Well, of course, it has to be aware that you were reciting it for it to then defend you before Allah. How's it going to intercede for you to know who you are?
By the command of Allah.
So Allah is going to make the Quran aware that you recited it, and then He's going to make the Quran argue with him to defend you? Yeah.
So again, Allah is going to make the Quran aware that you recited it?
Because you said Allah is going to command.
Why does the Quran need to be aware again?
How is it going to intercede for you before Allah? And you embrace this religion, my goodness.
I don't know how. I don't know.
Yeah, it's time for you, buddy. Listen to me. If you don't want to be a Christian, that's up to you. But leave Islam, bro. You made a big mistake. You don't know Islam. You don't understand. The more you study it, the more I'm not lying to you. The more you study it, I promise you, the more confused you're going to be. You don't even need me in the picture. As you start studying the Muslim scholars of the Quran and the Sifat and Asma, you're going to walk away more confused and baffled. You made a mistake, man. Why'd you?
Well, I'm writing down these points, and yeah, I'm also recording this. We've been going for like an hour. We have at least 3 good questions you gave me.
I can give you more. So
I prefer not. Maybe we can do a round 2 because it's already a lot.
All right, come back. Let me know. We can continue from here. But be honest and be forthright, and just don't make it up as you go along. So go find out whether the Quran is a speech of Allah. If it's uncreated and all the other stuff, we'll get back to me. All right?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time.
Because I'm hoping this will be used by the true God to awaken you. So I hope, but we'll see. I'm here. Reach out to me.
May God guide us both to the truth.
He's guided me to the truth. His name is Jesus. I pray He does that for you.
Okay. God bless, brother.
Guys, what do you want me to do? Open up Q&A? You want me to open up Q&A? Let's do Q&A. It's 7 o'clock. What should I do? You guys have questions? Let's open up Q&A. Okay, let's do Q&A. Let's see if we're going to do it. Yeah. This guy, because he was attacking Marmari. That's why. So here it is. Let me now retitle to say open Q&A. All right, anyway, there you go. Let me pin it. The guy became Muslim and he doesn't know nothing about Islam. Is that amazing? Why the heck did you become Muslim then?
Let's talk about what just happened, because this debate is unlike anything else in this catalog. It wasn't against a scholar. It was against a seeker. A young man who left one faith, found another, and sat down with Sam Shamoun before he was ready. And I want to be honest about that, because there's something important in how Shamoun handled this exchange that deserves to be acknowledged. He was tough, direct, unsparing. But at the end, he said something that I think reveals what this is actually about. I'm hoping the true God will use this to awaken you. That's not a debate tactic. That's a genuine concern for a young man who is still figuring out what he believes and why. Now, let me break down the 3 arguments that I think define this entire exchange. Argument 1. The reason for leaving Christianity. The young man left Orthodox Christianity because he couldn't understand communion, the idea of literally eating God. It felt wrong. It didn't make sense. So he left. But here's Shamoun's point. That's a subjective reason. Something not feeling right is not evidence that it's false. It's evidence that you don't understand it yet. And the irony is devastating. He left Christianity because he couldn't understand how God could become physically present in bread. And he embraced a religion where the uncreated eternal speech of God becomes physically present in a book, where that book speaks, hears, intercedes, appears before God. The same logical problem he ran from in Christianity was waiting for him in Islam. He just hadn't seen it yet. Argument 2, the uncreated Quran. This is the argument that genuinely stopped the young man in his tracks. Standard Sunni Islamic theology teaches that the Quran is uncreated. It is the eternal speech of Allah, one of His attributes, without beginning, without end. Shamoun's question is simple. How many uncreated things do you have? If only Allah is uncreated and the Quran is uncreated, then what is a Quran? The young man had no answer, because there isn't a clean one. Muslim scholars have wrestled with this for centuries. The Mutazilites said the Quran is created. The Ash'arists said it's uncreated. Both positions have profound theological problems. But here's Shamoun's broader point. Muslims frequently challenge Christians on the Trinity. How can 3 persons be one God? How can Jesus be both human and divine? That's irrational. That's illogical. That's incompatible with monotheism. But an eternal uncreated speech that is distinct from Allah, yet somehow is Allah's attribute, that appears before Allah and argues with Allah on your behalf. That's somehow simpler? The complexity Muslims accuse Christianity of exists in their own theology. They just haven't been asked about it directly. Argument 3. The Quran confirms the Bible. This is the argument the young man was least prepared for. He came in believing the Bible is corrupted. Standard Muslim apologetic position. The Bible we have today is not reliable. It's been changed. But Shamoun walked him through Surah Al-Baqarah 2:40-44. Al-Baqarah 2 hours, 89 minutes. Al-Baqarah 2 hours, 91 minutes. Al-Baqarah 2 hours, 97 minutes. Al-Baqarah 2:101. Every single verse says the same thing. This Quran confirms what is with you. Present tense. At the time of Muhammad, the scriptures the Jews and Christians had in their hands. And then Shamoun's question, if the Bible is corrupted, why is the Quran telling the Jews and Christians to judge by what they have? How do you judge by a corrupted book? How do you conceal truth you don't have? How does the Quran confirm what no longer exists? The young man's response, maybe they only a part of it. And Shamoun's counter was precise. The Quran doesn't say part. It says what is with you. You are adding a qualification the text doesn't contain. And if you add qualifications to the Quran to protect your position, that's interpretation. The same interpretation you accuse Christians of doing with the Bible. Here's my final takeaway. This debate matters for a reason that has nothing to do with winning. This young man is 26 years old, still figuring out what he believes, still asking questions, still writing things down. That's not weakness. That's honesty. And the most important thing Shamoun said wasn't an argument. It was this: you don't need me in the picture. The more you study Islam seriously, the Quran, the Hadith, the scholars, the more confused you're going to become. And I think that's right. Not because Islam is uniquely flawed, but because any faith that doesn't survive honest scrutiny from within its own sources deserves to be questioned. And any person who is willing to sit across from someone who challenges everything they believe and write it down and say, I'll get back to you, that person is closer to truth than they know. Subscribe to Shamoun Files. Drop your thoughts below. If you left one faith for another, what was the reason? And have you tested that reason as thoroughly as you tested the faith you left? This is Shamoun Files. See you in the next one.